Welcome to my fourth video in my mini series of IELTS test tips that I've created alongside We Love IELTS, Cambridge's platform for those preparing for the IELTS test. And today I'm giving you my 4 best tips to achieve success in the IELTS speaking test. As ever, before we start, if you're new to the channel, please don't forget to subscribe. That way, you'll never miss out on any of our great videos. Okay, so let's begin by recapping on what the speaking paper consists of. The speaking test is the same for both the academic and general training test, and there are 3 parts. In part 1, you answer a range of questions on familiar topics. In part 2, you are asked to speak on a topic for 2 minutes. And in part 3, you and the examiner discuss issues around the topic of part 2. So, that's the structure of the test. Now, let's get on to my tips. My first tip is to record yourself doing task 2. Recording yourself doing task 2 of the speaking test will help with your time management. In this part of the test, you are given a topic card with prompts. You are then given 1 minute of preparation time, during which you can make notes before speaking for 2 minutes on the topic. The biggest issue I see in this part of the test is that students are often unprepared to talk for 2 minutes. They often don't speak for long enough, or they don't get all of their points said in time. So, consistently recording yourself will allow you to keep an eye on the time and start to develop a natural feeling for how long 2 minutes is. Additionally, recording yourself also means that you can listen back to see if you covered all of the points efficiently, as well as looking at any language or pronunciation areas that you need to work on. On to tip number 2. Develop your fluency. The ability to speak fluently and without much hesitation are factors that are really important in doing well in the IELTS speaking test. There are various ways in which you can do this. For example, learning fillers, such as, well, you know, or let's see. However, my favourite thing to do with my students is an activity called repeat, repeat, repeat. Let me explain it to you in a few steps. You choose any topic and then prepare some main points to talk about. You then have to talk about it for 90 seconds without changing the topic or pausing for more than a few seconds. You then must repeat all of the main points you said previously, but in 75 seconds. Finally, you then have to repeat all of the main points you said previously, but in 60 seconds. Again, to check you've completed the task successfully, record yourself speaking and then listen back to it. Doing this will help reduce the quantity of time that you need to say something, as well as increase the quality of what you're saying, as your language improves after each step. My third tip is to learn variations of important phrases. During the speaking test, it's very likely that you're going to use common words or phrases, such as because, great, for example, and I think. To impress the examiner with your range of language, I'd recommend learning at least 2 variations of each word or phrase. This means you won't repeat yourself too much. If you're unsure where to look for alternatives, the Cambridge Dictionary would be a good starting point. And finally, my 4th tip is to extend your answers. The examiner can only mark you on what you say. 1 word or very short answers won't show off your speaking skill, so you need to say as much as possible. One of the most basic ways of extending your answers is using the words because, due to, or as. However, I wouldn't recommend this as the only way of extending your answers, as this can become repetitive. Other ways you can extend your answers include giving a personal example, giving an example from your knowledge, making a prediction, making a contrast between different countries, and making a contrast with past and present situations. And of course, don't forget that these should be relevant to the task in order to achieve a high band score. Make sure that you implement these anytime you're practicing for the speaking test, so that it's automatic when you do the real test. Okay, let's recap. So there we go. I really hope that these tips help you for when preparing for the IELTS speaking test. Don't forget, for more test tips and resources, check out the We Love IELTS website. The link is below the video. And especially, don't forget to check out the series of We Love IELTS podcasts, which focus on helping you improve your performance in the speaking test. As mentioned before, don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And I'd also love to hear your suggestions. So, if you have any different tips or ideas on how to prepare for the speaking test, please comment below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.